Welcome to my new house.
Welcome everyone, or welcome whoever's watching. We're going to go through the guide for using Casebook today for case managers. Emphasis on case managers, not for data entry, although we are entering data, but it's not for data entry people. Um, okay, so we start out, on the home page for Casebook. We go to the Engage tab. This is for how we enter. So you go to engage, give it a second to load, and you see you have all these people here. And I have a practice person here, like the intake forms for this practice person named Anna Practice, who doesn't exist. So I'm just going to search and make sure that she doesn't exist. And I click Anna Practice, and there are no such people. There's other people. These are not Anna Practice. So I go back, and then I go here, create case, start entering information for Anna Practice, like the full name, the type. This is where we decide whether it's an intake, a follow-up, or one-time case. So I'm going to explain each of them. So when they show up for the first time for housing, it's going to be an intake. If they show up, multiple times afterwards, and it's also for housing, then it's a follow-up. But if they show up for something like, a food pack or a free cell phone, then it's a one-time case. So in this instance, since they're showing up for housing, we need to go with intake. Then status, it's going to be open. Let me take a look here. Possible stages. Yeah, so it's going to be open if they are requesting for housing or mediation. If they don't come for housing or mediation, the case will be closed, as you see down here. So this person is coming for housing, so the case will be open. And then for housing versus other, you just click housing. Labels, you leave blank. Case manager, I will put myself. And then down here, the allow list, you just go ahead and ignore that. And then top right corner here, or like right side of the screen, you click create case. Okay. Then we go down here and we start to add people to the case, starting with the head of household. You go to add person, and then we're trying to add people to this case. So like, for example, I'm going to try to add the first person, Anna Practice. But when I take a look here at the list, they don't exist in our system yet. So I need to scroll down a little bit and click create new person. So this is going to like take us to like not a separate tab, but it's sort of zooming in to create the person before we add them to the case. So we're going to go create new person. It's going to autofill the first couple of fields, like a first name Anna, last name Practice. Marital status, this person is, I'm taking a look at the intake forms now, so I can see whether the person is single or married or whatever. Let me pull up the intake form. This person is divorced. So I'm going to go marital status, divorced. Date of birth, we have on the intake form as March 5th, 1995. Place of birth, you can just ignore. For sex, this person is female. Social security number, we have a fake social security number for this person, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Stakeholder status is always going to be beneficiary because these people are benefiting from our services. So always going to be beneficiary. The website has a tendency to sometimes like erase this beneficiary here. So when you go and click save, or when you try and finish it, it might be like, oh, there's an error on the page, and you scroll up and see that beneficiary is no longer there. So you may need to like re-add it back on. Just a little note there. Single parent, this person is single parent, so I click yes. Number of adults in the family, there is one for Anna Practice, and then there is one child in the family, Karen Practice. So I click 1 and 1. You don't need to put zeros in the other fields, you can just leave them blank. Race and ethnicity, let me see here. I think they were Caucasian. Let me just double check. Yes, Caucasian. So Caucasian white. Immigration status, citizen by birth. And then one thing to note is how on our intake forms we have the fields like citizen by birth or whatever for just the head of household. So when you go through and add people for other household members, you might not know what their immigration status is. So you might need to leave this blank, but we'll get to that later. Um, Contact information. So we add their email address. I can just type it in here, me@me.com. Again, I'm pulling from this fake information on this intake form that Zoraida so kindly made for us. And then phone number, I'm going to add 310-444-4444 is like another fake phone number. Primary language, English. Go down here. Recorded address. We're going to start putting in this address, 1732 North Las Palmas Avenue. There's no unit number, right? So no unit number, zip code, state, country. County, you can leave blank. I don't think there even are options to put there. Location type, if it's just a mailing address, like if the person is homeless, then you would put mailing address. Also, if they live in like a shelter or something. But in this case, it's a residence, so we're going to put down residence. And then housing status, this is very important, but we also pull it from the intake. So let me see where housing status is on this. Where is housing status? It's here, at risk of losing my place. So this person is at risk of losing my place. This information or the options in the drop down correlate with what we have on our intake form. So it should just be, you know, one to one, like at risk of losing my place is at risk of losing my place. You can skip the at location since and until, and skip the physical description notes. Skip adding another address. Housing conditions. Where are you planning to relocate? Also should be on the intake forms here. They're saying anywhere in Los Angeles. So I'm just going to drop down anywhere in Los Angeles. Employment and finances. Employment status. This person I think is employed. Yes, they are a UPS dispatcher. So employed full-time. Total household income. It says that they make around 1,500. Oh no, hold on a second. And they have 1,200 from wages, 100 from child support, 100 from SSI, 100 from general relief. So yes, that's 1,500 per month, which totals 18,000 per year if you multiply it by 12. So that puts us in this range. Once again, as a reminder, do not include CalFresh in this calculation because you can't use CalFresh to pay rent. Recorded occupation. So we add an occupation for this person. Employer name is UPS. Occupation is dispatcher. And you don't have to include start and end date because we don't have that on our intake forms. Finances, we have an income source here. So income source one is from employment. The amount is 1,200. Frequency is per month. And then more income sources because we have child support, SSI, and general relief. So here we have child support, 100 monthly. Add another income source. SSI. Let me scroll down and find SSI. SSI. Another 100. Frequency monthly. Add another income source. And this last one is general relief. General relief. General relief at the very bottom. 100 per month. And that's it for income sources. Skip down to education. Highest level of education completed for this person, elementary school, it says. So they didn't get very far, I guess. Do not do add school or just go ahead and skip that. Medical plan. So we go to the part of the intake that has medical, which is over here. Remember, this is for the head of household. So for them, they have LA Care. although their child has Health Net. We'll get to that later. So the head of household has LA Care. They have a customer identification number of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8A. And then the re-enrollment date, just go ahead and skip. Medical condition. It doesn't look like they have a medical condition on our intake forms. They don't. Oh, they don't. Okay, so
If only if they tell them off the record, then you can add it.
okay, yeah. So if they tell you off the record, you can add it like a medical condition. I don't know if it affects their like applicability for housing or whatever or not. Probably not. How did you hear about us for referral information? Social media, right? There's no email, right? I didn't just miss it. Okay, I'll put social media. And then you skip social worker name, skip social worker agency because they didn't hear about us through a social worker. And then there's more stuff like add relationship, and we'll get to that later. So at this point, you're going to click save. Yeah, you go ahead and click save once you hit the relationships portion. And then it takes you back to here if you remember that we're trying to enter Anna Practice into the people on this case. So if I just like change the name a little bit, so Anna Practice, you see female, 30 years old. This person is the primary member, the main person receiving services. The role of this person, they're 30 years old, so they're probably an adult. The effective date is whatever the day is that they come in and get these services. So like we were working on a couple of cases earlier before this recording where they came in on October 2nd. So we would put October 2nd here. And as a matter of fact, for now, we're going to copy this date because there's going to be a lot of places that we're going to paste that date later. So it saves us a bit of time typing out the date every single time. And then you go ahead and leave services blank and goals blank. And you click save, which takes you back to this page where it's the case with the people. So like right now it's just Anna Practice, and we're going to add her daughter Karen Practice in a second. So you go to people, add person. This is going to be Karen Practice, which as we remember doesn't exist yet. So we're going to scroll down and click create new person. It's going to fill out the first couple of fields, and then we go down and do the whole thing over again for the second person. Marital status single, because this person is like 7 years old or something, 9 years old, I think. Let's see, yeah, 9 years old. Date of birth for Karen Practice is 04/06 2016. 04/06/2016. Don't need place of birth. Sex is female. Social security number, we have another fake one here, 345671234. Stakeholder status, again, remember beneficiary always. Single parent, no, even though it's not really applicable in this case. So then here we have the number of adults and number of children in the family. We're actually going to include everyone in the whole family, even though this is just entering a person like in the family. So again, we're going to enter one adult and one child in the family because that's the whole family. So don't think in this section, oh, I'm just entering in for Karen Practice, therefore it's just one child. We actually have to enter the information for the entire family here just for consistency. Race and ethnicity, Caucasian again. Immigration status, citizen by birth, we can guess, but like we can assume in this case, but sometimes you might have like parents that were citizens by birth, but you don't know, or one parent citizen by birth, and which shows up in the intake form, and then the other parent, you don't know if they're citizen by birth or not. So you don't know if the kids are citizen by birth. So in a case like that, you may have to leave it blank, but here we're going to go ahead and say citizen by birth because the sole parent is citizen by birth. Contact information. So naturally, this kid is 9 years old. They don't have an email address or phone number yet, but we're going to put down the email address and phone number of the parent here or the head of household. So this is just in case any household member doesn't have an email address or phone number, you put the head of households instead. So here we have, let's see here, me@me.com for the email address. And then the phone number is 310-444-4444. Primary language for this child is English. Even though like we actually had a case earlier today that we were working on there where they had a baby that was maybe 20 days old. Even if the kid can't speak English yet, you still just put English there. So you do that. Recording address. So you put down the address as well that you have from before. Naturally, if you have different household members living in different places, you put a different address. But here we have 1732 North Las Palmas. No unit number, zip code, state, country, United States, no county, location type, residence. Housing status, again, this is important that they are at risk of losing their place. And double check, make sure that's right. Yes, at risk of losing their place. Do not do at location, since, and until, and do not do physical description of notes. And don't do another address, just one address. Where are you planning to relocate? There were anywhere in Los Angeles. Employment status for this child is, what is it? So they're not they are a student, right? Because they're 9 years old. So this person would be a student. We also, like I said, we had the case earlier today where there was a child that was like 20 days old. So we actually would leave this one blank because they're not even a student yet. And they can't say they're unemployed because they're not really meant to be employed at 20 days old. So in this case, 9 years old, they're in elementary school. They are a student. Total household income, this one is similar to above when we were entering the number of people that are between like 0 and 19 years or 0 and 12 years old, 12 and 19 years old, 19 and up or whatever, where you enter it for the whole household as opposed to just for this person. So even though this person's only 9 years old, you still enter that they're in the extremely low income range of 18,000 a year. Occupation, they don't have any. Finances, they don't have any, so we actually leave those blank. Highest level of education completed would be elementary school, but they're not even done with that, so we leave that blank. No recorded school. Medical plan, we have some medical information for them here. Like I said earlier, if you remember, the parent was on LA Care, but the child is on Health Net, so we put Health Net there, and we have a number here for them: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, B. And then we don't do the re-enrollment date because we don't have it. No recorded medical condition for this child. Referral, how'd they hear about us? Social media. Don't do social worker name, don't do social work agency. And remember, once you hit the add relationship section, you click save, and we come back to that later. So we click save. That takes us back to here where we're trying to make Karen practice as a person on the case. They are not the primary member, they're a household member. So we change this to household member, and their role is a child. Effective date is still 10/9/2025. Do not do services, do not do goals, click save. And that takes us to the second person being added, as you can see here, to the case. So now I'm going to take a look-see at what to do next is service. So we go to service plan, add service enrollment. Let me see here what to do. So we have to add everyone. So here is add service recipients, you add everyone from the family. So I'm going to add Karen practice, and I'm going to add Anna practice here, service number 1. So the services section, you see it's service number 1. There's probably going to be 2 and 3 or whatever when you add services. Is going to be all of the things that we do for the client. So for example, this client came in and we applied for one apartment. We applied for Kittredge Apartments. which is part of low income housing applications. We also gave them a TAP card for the TAP Life program. We gave them a food pack to take home. We gave them prayer request submission and a daily devotional. So that's 5 services that we provided for them. So we're going to fill out all 5 of them here. So for this one here, service and provider, it would be Kittredge Apartments. Service type is application that auto-filled. Person providing service is going to be me. So I'm going to put my name in there and it's going to fill me in as case manager. Number of service units. So I have to explain this. So we have like our units that we talk about for billing, which some of you may have heard in like our talks with Zoraida and some of our trainings maybe. This is not the same types of units. This unit here is literally just the units of product being delivered. So we applied for this one apartment. So the number of service units is just 1. Like, for example, we gave them 1 food pack to take home. So that is just 1 food pack. This is not the same thing as the units where you have to calculate it like 1 unit is every half hour, and therefore you have to calculate the number of units for the number of time, the amount of time. This is just the number of products delivered. So like, for example, if we applied for 2 apartments, the first service would be the first apartment, the second service would be the second apartment, and each of them would be 1 unit. So that's how that works. Unit cost for the service is just $27. That's auto-filled. Planned start date, this is where we start pasting in the 10/9s that we had from before. Planned end date, you leave blank. Frequency for this service. So remember that the housing, we recommend that they come back monthly when we update our listings. So frequency is going to be monthly. Method of delivery is in person because we do our services in person. And status, this one is in progress. So you need to remember, let me see where it is. Status for these things is in progress especially for housing until there is like some sort of verdict, like, the housing property gets back to their client and says, we accept you or we reject you or we need more information or whatever. It's going to be in progress until then. And if it does reach that, then it's going to be ended. So right now we just applied for this thing, it's in progress. And then add another service. So we have only applied for 1 apartment today. If we applied for a second one or a third one, we would start filling them out here. But the next service that we provide is going to be the TAP program. So I'm just going to type in TAP and it's going to autofill this one, the grant TAP cards. Autofill service. Person providing service is going to be me. So I'm going to put my name there. Number of service units, again, it's 1 because it's 1 TAP card. If you provided multiple TAP cards, then you put multiple there. You put like 2 or whatever. The planned start date is again 10/9 today. Nothing for planned end date. Frequency, this is where things become a little different than the housing. The TAP card, we give it to them is just a one-time thing. So we give it to them as a one-time thing. Method of delivery is also in person. And then this bit is also a little different here. Status is ended because the service has finished. We have given them the TAP card, like the act of giving them the TAP card has finished. So we click ended, which gives us a couple extra fields to fill out. So actual end date here. So for planned end date, you see we leave it blank. Actual end date, you just put the same date that we have for the start date because this action of giving them a TAP card all happened on the same day. So planned start date is 10/9, planned end date is blank, actual end date is 10/9. Reason for ending service is, scroll down a little bit, service goal achieved, and then you don't need anything for additional information. Add another service for the third one, which is food pack to take home. So I'm going to type here food packs here. It's going to autofill some of these things. Person providing service is again me. So we're going to put my name there. Number of service units is 1 because it's 1 food pack. It autofills, total cost for the service based on 1 unit at a cost of $55 each. Planned start date is as usual 10/9. Planned end date as usual is blank. Frequency, again, the food pack is a one-time giving them the food pack. So it is one time. Method delivery in person. Status ended because we gave them the food pack. It's already done. Actual end date is the same time. Reason for ending service is the same thing, service goal achieved. We gave them the food pack. So that's 3 services done. Next is the 4th one, which is prayer request submission. So I type in prayer there. So we have here referral prayer. Number of service units, again, it's 1 prayer. Planned start date, this. Frequency, again, it's a one-time prayer. Method of delivery, we'll do referral for that. You see some of the stuff is like on the fly too. We kind of figure it out as we're going.
To the alone without asking me, so they cut the part where I spoke. So just say referral.
Okay, referral, yeah. So for method of delivery is referral. And then status is, what's it called? Status is ended because we gave them the prayer. Again, actual end date is then, and reason for ending service, service goal achieved. And we do this one more time for daily devotionals, even though it's a little bit different because it's daily. So this one's frequency instead of one time is going to be daily, but that's everything else is pretty much the same. 1 service unit because it's one set of daily devotionals. Start date is then, frequency daily, method of delivery, referral as well, I guess we'll go with that. And then status, this one's kind of weird, but it is ended because we say like we have signed them up for these daily devotionals. So the acts, like our job is done. So we have ended this one. Actual end date again, as usual, is that. Reason for ending service, service goal achieved. So again, that we click ended for this, even though it says daily, like it's on an ongoing daily process, because our job is done as case managers, case workers of getting the client to sign up for the daily devotionals. So that's all 5 services added. So I click save. It's going to save. It's going to take a second. So these are all the services that you can see. I'm going to click see all just so I can take a look-see at them. So we have the daily devotional, the food packs, the prayers. You see they're all ended. And then this is for both Anna and Karen practice. So you see there should be 2 in progresses, 1 for each of them for the Kittredge apartments. So there's that. Okay, need to go back. Need to figure out how to go back. I can also go here and a little tip on how to navigate Casebook. You can go here and it gives you like a short history of where you were last for the last, however many searches or entries or whatever. I will find my way back. I will click engage and I will search for Anna practice. And I will learn as I'm doing this. Here we are. Perfect. I found my way back. So that's the services. Now we go to relationships. So I need to, whoops, I clicked on something. I need to go back. Clicked on something by accident. So now we have in the relationships for Karen practice or Anna practice, no recorded relationships. So now we're going to go back in to the people and add relationships. So for Karen practice, you're going to go here to this pencil and click edit. Where you go through, where we were before with all the information previously entered, like address, stuff like that. This is this for Karen or Anna? This is for Karen practice. Okay, I need to make sure I know who I'm working on. Oops, do not zoom. Here we go. Medical condition relationship. So add relationship. We're going to add Anna practice. Practice. There we go. Relationship type. Anna practice is the parent of Karen. So we're going to put parent. And relationship date, you don't need to put that, but we're going to click save. So again, you don't need to. And then if there's more relationships in the family, then you would add another relationship. Here it's just these 2, but for now we're good. So you just click save, and then that's Karen, oh, fix form errors before saving changes. Remember, I mentioned that here stakeholder status will sometimes forget that you put beneficiary. So click beneficiary and then click save. And then that's Karen practice updated. Now we go to Anna practice to update her relationship. So we scroll down to relationships, medical condition, relationships, and it autofilled. Karen practice is the child, so it actually autofilled for us. That's nice. And then once again, it forgets that we told it stakeholder status as beneficiary. So you go do that again and click save. So now we have done adding the persons. We've done the service plan. We've done relationships. Don't do meetings. Something that you need to know for this is when you do any sort of email communication with the client, you want to CC this email address. This email address is for whatever email address is in this space is the sort of like keeping you in the loop for Casebook. So like if you CC this email address into whatever email you send to the client, then it will, tell Casebook, hey, we sent this email, and it will have that email here, on Casebook. So it's like a record of all the emails that have been sent to and from the clients, as long as this is CC'd there. So it's a way of keeping track of communication. And then now we come to the last step, which is notes. We need to add a note for Anna practice. And so subject, we just have Anna practice 10-9. And then we type in some notes here, which I don't have much, but I can talk a little bit about what the notes are supposed to look like. So when you have the notes, you want to sort of go from outer to inner for them. You want to start with outer things like their appearance, and then you move more inward to things like their emotions or their feelings, their disposition. And then on top of that, the third thing you add besides outer and inner is services. You want to talk about what services you provided. So I can just type in some random stuff here. Anna practice came in with her daughter. Both of them looked disheveled and had dirty clothing. That would be like an appearance thing, because that indicates to you as like a pseudo psychologist that they may have, a rough time living. Maybe they don't have access to a good washer and dryer to clean their clothes. Maybe they don't have that many clothes. They have to wear the same ones over and over again. So they get dirty all the time. These are like little tidbits that you can pick up from looking at your client that indicate to you their like living and housing circumstances, which can also help you better support them. So both of them looked disheveled and had dirty clothing. Anna was distraught with her ex-husband. Anna was distraught with her ex-husband. She mentioned that he came by their home earlier without prior notice and let himself in. I'm just making some stuff up to talk about, that, oh, Anna's distraught and, something happened that made her really upset. That can indicate something, like a domestic violence thing or, something along those lines that may require some help. And remember, we do mediation now. So there may be some legal solutions to these things that you want to try and pick up on, like solutions to problems. You want to pick up on the problems so you can give them some solutions. The ex-husband, they both said they haven't eaten since the day before. Again, I'm making stuff up, but this is like indicative of their living and housing circumstances. I can talk about next their like feelings or their emotions. Anna expressed that she was very frustrated with their current housing situation since the ex-husband, knows where they live and can come by any time for any reason, like a sort of intrusive coming over. Close that. She was very frustrated with her current housing situation. Therefore, she wanted a new place to live far from the husband, so he cannot do this anymore. Now I guess that's enough. So I can talk about services now, or I can say what we provided for her. We helped Anna apply for one property, Kit Ridge Apartments, as well as the TAP Life program. We gave her a food pack to take home, and signed her up for prayer requests and daily devotionals. Our actionable steps for the future include checking in with her 1 week from today regarding the ex-husband and how that situation may have progressed, as well as having her come back in 1 month from now for more housing applications. So that's like, what we did for her and what we're planning to do for her for the future. So that's good enough, I'll say, for these notes. I'm going to scroll down a little bit, show like permissions. You don't have to worry about this restrict access or whatever. Click save. And then we're pretty much done. So we have the notes, we have, everything that we did before. And it seems like that is pretty much it for Casebook for case managers. Casebook guide for case managers, not for data entry. So thank you for attending and paying attention the whole time. I'm sure it was difficult to follow. I hope that you learned a lot, and that you can come to Zoraida or myself with questions about Casebook, so we can all learn how to use it effectively and progress into the future with this great tool that helps us manage our cases. So thank you for attending, and have a good rest of your day.